Okay, well, yesterday was the biopsy. We went and got the CT results, and he came in and said that unfortunately I don't have very good news. Apparently there are several lymph nodes throughout my neck and chest that are super swollen, more so than the one here in my neck. And also there was a nodule on my thyroid, and so he ordered for me to have a biopsy done as soon as possible. So yesterday was the biopsy. I kind of wanted to just document the progress here and where we've gone. And the biopsy pretty much sucked a lot. It was very painful. They laid me down and then did a topical, shot me up with lidocaine, numbing stuff. And first they did this one here, which this was where they went in to the lymph node. And so they did their lymph node first, so they numbed all that area up, and then he went in and began the biopsy procedure. The needle that he used was pretty long, so it kind of sucked to see it. Kind of wish I hadn't looked, but then he puts this other thing down inside of that needle, and then it clicks, which is getting the sample apparently. So that one, it hurt, but it wasn't as horrible. And then they went to this spot and began to numb that area up to do the nodule, which is on the right lobe of my thyroid. And that one was the worst. And it was funny because the nurse told me that it would be easier than the other one that I had done. But it ended up being a whole lot worse. And so they numbed up the area, of course, but because where the nodule is super deep, they weren't able to numb that far down, I guess. I mean, I would think you should be able to, but they didn't. So another problem was that the nurse that was doing the guided ultrasound so that he could see where everything was and where he was supposed to put the needle and get the biopsy, she didn't kind of know how to do it. He wanted it like an inverse, and so that he could see which angle he was coming at it, so it was easier for him, but she couldn't figure out how to do it backwards, which I understand is difficult, but I was kind of frustrated because it took a lot of him digging around with that needle in my neck. And he'd go in and wouldn't be able to find it, so he'd have to come back out, and then he'd go in again, and he was going through all that muscle and tissue, and I could feel almost all of it, and so it was really, oh my gosh, it was horribly painful and freaky to feel someone digging around in your neck. So about halfway through the one on my thyroid, I started crying, which sucked because I couldn't really sob or move because I didn't want to mess him up, and so I needed to hold still. And of course you know that when you start crying you get a lump in your throat and it kind of burns if you're trying to keep from crying. So that just added to the discomfort and issue that was happening back there. But the third nurse that was helping, she was really sweet. Her name was Megan, and she held my hand and really encouraged me and just kept saying, "You're doing really good. I know this is hard, but you're doing great. Just hang in there. It's almost over." Towards the very end, I started getting really lightheaded and nauseous, and then I was pretty sure I was about to pass out. Because I've passed out before, I think I knew what I was feeling and that it was coming. So I raised my hand and let them know that I probably was going to pass out. And so they said, "Well, we'll take a break for just a second." And the nurse put the fan on, and they waited for a couple minutes, and Megan kind of just talked me through and just kept saying, "You're going to be okay." Look at me, you're going to be fine, you're almost there. And then they finished the last horrible jab, and he got the last sample he needed from the thyroid, and thank God it was over. And so then they started cleaning me up and getting, you know, I had all that orange stuff all over me. And so they started cleaning me up and got me cleaned up, and at that point then I started really falling apart, you know, emotionally, and just really started crying. I think a lot of it was psychological, and it freaked me out, and I'd opened my eyes to see when I could swallow when his hands weren't on me, and then his hands were above my head, and I could see, you know, all the blood on his gloves, and I think a lot of that played into the psychological portion of it, of being just kind of freaked out. And then Mom came in, because they wouldn't let her be there during it, but then she came in, and I just sat there for a little bit and just tried to get my bearings again. I was still really dizzy and very sore from tensing my body up, so my back and my legs and stuff are sore. But so then, as far as recovery, came home. The lidocaine started wearing off pretty quickly. She said it would be 2 hours, but it was a lot sooner than that for me. So I don't know if I just metabolize it different, but I started having a lot of pain. So I had a leftover, only one hydrocodone I was saving for a special occasion. I guess this constituted special occasion. So I went ahead and took it when we left the hospital, and that helped until I guess about 6 o'clock, and then it started hurting really bad. And just, I mean, normal movement like that was horribly painful. So then I took a Motrin, and sleeping last night was not fun. I couldn't get comfortable, and of course I sleep on my stomach with one arm like up over, and so having one arm over, you can't really move this area. It did not work out very well. So then I was trying to sleep on my back, but if I tried sleeping on my back, then I would start to snore, which vibrated this area that's sore, so then it would hurt and wake me up. So I don't even know how long I tossed and turned or laid there with horrible pain before I finally dozed off. And then this morning I feel a lot better. I have a whole lot more movement. I mean, it still hurts like move. Okay, so that video just quit. Okay, but moving the, you know, because of the muscles and stuff in here. And this one, actually where they did the thyroid, is really swollen. I don't know if you can see very well. This isn't as swollen, this part where they went in, but it's still, I mean, it's all really tender to the touch. But I'm sore even down in here, which he took the needle and went this direction to get to my thyroid. But you can see it looks like a vampire was sucking on my blood. She said there would be bruising, but it doesn't look like there's a whole lot at the moment. So now it's going to take approximately 3 to 5 business days before we have any results from the biopsy to find out whether or not this is cancerous or not. So that is the update, and that is my story, and I'm sticking to it of what happened. And I will keep posting and uploading videos as I have more information.